I read this quote the other day. Every life has a beginning, middle, and end, and how one has lived one's life should be of great interest to those who are still at the beginning. I will soon be turning 11, and what interests or excites me is what life has in store for me. The fun, exciting, and challenging times I will go through as I make my first century. I started reading early in life, and I have to tell you, it became more than a leisurely activity. It became a passion. I could get transported through books to different worlds and get totally lost in them. To me, it was like magic, and most of my early reading was fiction. Naturally, one of my favorite places to go to is a bookstore. It was only a year back when I picked up my first autobiography. It was The Story of My Life by Helen Adams Keller. The author has very beautifully narrated how Keller was stricken by an illness that left her blind and deaf, but how Keller's teacher, Annie Sylvan, helped her make tremendous progress, and Keller went on to college, graduating. This taught me my first lessons of life. Ears to hear and eyes to see. Both are gifts from the God. I never understood how thankful I should be until I understood each one of the words from that book. A few months went by and I came across this book in my school library. It was My Inventions, the autobiography of Nikola Tesla. The young scientist in me, trying to make sense of small objects and time machinery tools, drew me to shelf out this book. He once worked for 84 hours straight and left the world with more than 300 patents. He spoke 8 languages, and that's how passionate he was about his work. And to admit, he even said that he never cared about money. The laws of physics were irrelevant instead. The great inventor believes in doing the best for our future in order to create better humans. The second lesson of my life was fulfilled. Our virtues and our feelings are inseparable, like force and matter. When they separate, man is no more. By this time, I was finding autobiographies to be my new favorite genre. One day, my dad and I were discussing about the demise of Stephen Hawking. Thanks to my dad, this encouraged me to read Stephen Hawking, a biography. Hawking's disease helped him turn him into the noted scientist he became. Before the diagnosis, Hawking referred, "I'd been very bored with my life," he said, with a sudden realization that he might not even live long enough to earn his PhD. That had not seemed anything worth doing, but instead, Hawking poured himself into his work and research, and to tell you, he actually predicted various things in space and worked with various quantum physics projects. Even though he was in a wheelchair and suffered, he still managed to make the world a better place. I learned my third lesson of life. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. If not the dream, it is the journey of the dreamer achieving his dream. I finally learned my fourth lesson of life through reading the astonishing account of the elite tennis player Rafael Nadal. This autobiography serves up a smashing report of his life on and off the court. This autobiography has various riveting chapters and revealing insights about his life. The 2008 Wimbledon final is played outshot by Nadal and Federer, one of the 2 greatest tennis players in the world. This autobiography provides an over-the-shoulder invitation into the 2008 Wimbledon finals and into the thought process of one of the greatest tennis players in history. A winning endeavor bound with intellect and innovation. Rafa. My story brings readers onto my triumphant yet dramatic journey. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. The knowledge one acquires from reading autobiographies is definitely way more than that one acquires from reading a few novels. The reader can blend into the character and witness the history from a first-hand experience. Besides, why won't you learn from A successful people who have already experienced all the ups and downs before they succeeded. My mom, like any other mom, has a long list of lessons for me to learn. These lessons are so that she can protect me when I have my failures and encourage me to perform and fight my fears. It's just those are lessons that will always be close to my heart. And when there's a story attached to these lessons, they are somehow never forgotten. The story of high and low and the story of winning and losing. I encourage each one of you not to teach your child a lesson, but give them an autobiography instead. You will be giving them a life lesson to learn. Storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world. I urge you, the people who love reading, must pick up an autobiography today and encourage each one around to read these successful individual stories. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. Mother Teresa, thank you.